It is supposed to support the accumulation of gold reserves by the Bank of Ghana and generate foreign exchange. It comes to collapse the precious minerals marketing company, collapse and replace it, so to speak. So, as you already know, the head of that institution is right here with us. Imani Africa, you can trust them. They are raising issues. So let's begin by hearing what their problems are with this institution. Then we take a comment. We have Prof. Dr. Steve Manteyao also joining us on this matter. Vicky Bright has taken leave of us because she came to deal with the other matter. Here in the studio also is Stephen Aka, who is Executive Director, Ghana Gold Export Foundation. Thanks for joining us, sir. Right. So, Imani.
Yes, sir.
Why? You people, everything you have papers on them.
Oh, we don't have any proper work to do. So we just sit down, we analyze
Tell
things,
us,
and we get
what is it that you are seeing that all the people who are praising the GoldBod are missing?
Actually, in a sense, we are praising the GoldBod. We've said something over the years and some people miss it. Our job is not to look at what is great and praise the government for it. They have enough people to do that. What we think our job is to look out for the pitfalls, where the problems could come from, and highlight them so that they will be taken care of, and then hopefully we can avoid these problems. So it's not like we are against everything. Let me make the point clear. In every situation where a state entity is formed, not in Ghana alone, it's a basic tenet of policy analysis. There are basic things that drive the formation, the motives for it, and usually the motives are very good. Okay, but there are also assumptions that are made, and usually the assumptions are wrong. The motive for the GoldBod is good. In fact, I am one of the people who believes that we have done such a bad job with our gold over the last 150 years that we are better off as of now leaving it in the ground for our children to do better with it later on. That's a certain principled position. But the reason why we are saying so is that we don't seem to be doing well when it comes to gold. So something different must be done. To that extent, the motivation for the GoldBod is absolutely fantastic. That we will create some sort of entity that will maximize our benefit as a country from our gold resources. The next point that must be made is that every government since Kwame Nkrumah has had the same vision. And in fact, the last time this vision was expressed in some entity, it was in Japan. Somebody decided that we're going to have to sell all of it, take some money, and then go and do some floating of something on a stock exchange somewhere. There is always good intention, but then the devil is in the details of how it is done. Of course, you remember that we were very much against the Japan, myself and my colleagues. Now, in the case of GoldBod, we think it is an improvement where you have a situation where the state is trying to marshal resources to just focus on this resource and make the best out of it. But then the assumptions come in. Every time a state institution is formed, there's an assumption that it will be manned by perfect people. People who are not corrupt, supremely competent, okay, and they will always seek the national interest. There is almost never a situation where that happens. The next assumption is that it will create perfect systems that will execute everything according to book and things will work well. And then the third assumption is that it will operate in a perfect environment where you won't have normal problems and abnormal problems. But if you take environment, for instance, when you create an institution, there are people who immediately set out to study it and game it. And when you create those institutions where you concentrate too much power, you create an entity which now makes its officials rent seekers. The last example, the example I'll give you is when they created this Galamsey task force. I give it because it was on this news file. I was here with Inusa and co. And I said, the people who have been taxed to go and chase them will become the people who are committing the sins. And that is what happened. Now, here's our issue with GoldBod. Great idea and whatever it is. When you concentrate commercial activity plus regulatory activity plus all of that in a government institution with powers to interact with people and industry and others within that ecosystem, And that, if you look at Section 44, so we have some of the bills. I've been looking for the actual one that was passed. Going down, they have tribunals, they have inspectors. Yes, the president appoints some of those people and all those things, but that is why I say the assumption is that we have perfect people working with perfect systems in a perfect environment. Gold is a spirit, I've told you.
But that's something you can't help.
No, you can't help it.
You're setting up an institution and it's people who populate it who do the job.
You can help it. That's why we have, for instance, in governance separation of powers. That is why across this country you will see you have regulators, you have commercial actors.
If the people will be bad, they'll be bad. If they'll be corrupt, they'll be corrupt.
No, that is where you don't have to make the assumption that you are going to have perfect people. You hedge against these things. Why separation of powers is there not because people are bad persons.
So in this GoldBod, where have they gone wrong, and what is the preemption you are making about the temptation to...
You don't have the time, so let me give you
the wrong things.
A few examples. Number one, today as we speak, gold is extremely hot. Like, gold is the price of gold has gone very high. There's a lot of money chasing gold. I can tell you, now here, market, there is no need for government to put any state funds behind the buying of gold. And market, every money we put as a government behind the buying of gold today, tomorrow we'll come back and we'll establish probes around it because they will be wasted and looted. You can arrange such that private funds will go. There are enough people trying to buy gold, all right? And then when you have this situation where, you know, in law, when you are a government and you are the sovereign, and you enter into commercial activity, you go to the level, GoldBod is almost operating at every level, okay? For instance,
it's a one-stop shop.
That is the problem. So
but that's the prescription we have loved. One-stop shop.
It's the wrong prescription. I'm saying
so you have control.
If you had the time, I'll show you where in this country we have departed from that and internationally it's wrong. So I'm saying, look, if you are the person buying the gold, and then you are the same person saying that the gold is 60% pure or 50% pure, after a while, you will buy the gold. When it's 90% pure, you say it's 60% pure because you are the one who determines it. Okay, when the commercial entity is also the regulating entity, that one is the one you are dealing with somebody, but you are the person policing the person. There are too many conflicts there. So we are saying, look, in our eagerness to try and stop galamsey, to try and get, things out of gold and whatever it is, we may be making too many mistakes. Look, it's a good direction, but this model is problematic.
So do you agree that this model at least will stop the smuggling or minimize the smuggling so we can accumulate the gold to ourselves as a state and be the ones to now trade it and help to shore up our forex and work against the cedi falling in the ways that we normally don't like? Do you agree that this can achieve that?
No, nothing will stop smuggling except strict enforcement and punishment. Nobody anywhere has stopped smuggling of gold. Now, the problem I have...
If the government becomes the only buyer, you can't sell it to anybody else.
It will minimize, but it won't stop. And when it comes to minimizing and stopping, when you have a situation where all the power is concentrated in one place, you are going to have people who become so powerful, too powerful. And when Sami is gone, when other people have gone, sometime down the line, these same people with the absolute power, you will find will become the people who will be doing the smuggling. Because they themselves are checking themselves. It never works anywhere.
Has the GoldBod model not helped us?
GoldBod, as I speak,
it has helped to prop up our economy over the years.
I'm saying GoldBod, as I speak today, as far as I am concerned, has failed.
But imagine this Ghanaian state without GoldBod.
No, you see, again.
Can you?
Yes, I can. I can. See, when people made money from cocoa, it's when we didn't have GoldBod. Travel into our villages, you see old good houses. People became rich over cocoa when we didn't have GoldBod. When GoldBod became a state institution, it helped the states, but it impoverished people. Cocoa farmers are the most taxed in this country. And it's because of the activities of GoldBod. You don't have the time here. But what I'm saying is that when you concentrate too much power in a government institution and you do the analysis, you find out that, look, as you are looking for the good, you may be doing more bad than good.
Okay.
GoldBod is a good idea. This law seems to be in the right direction, but there are too many landmines in it, and it will explode one day. Let's start but let us quickly go and amend this thing.
So take a breather. Take a breather.